Hello, dear Aries. I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your May 2022 horoscope. And yes, we have some pretty interesting times ahead of us for the month of May because we do have Mercury now in shadow as we start the month, and it will retrograde this month. And it's going to be affecting your first and third houses as Jupiter, also the planet of luck and good fortune, enters your sign. This is a big deal. It happens every 12 years. And so this can really energize you. But I'll get to that. First, we are kicking off the month after a new moon partial solar eclipse. It's our first eclipse in the Taurus and Scorpio series. And so this is going to be activated in your second and eighth houses. And with this being a new moon, your second house is really emphasized. So you may be looking at the things that you value and the things that are bringing you some form of income or personal possessions, and really setting some strong intentions about possibly a new role, a new job, or some new form of security that can give you some financial security as well as emotional security. And then with Venus, the ruler of Taurus, also entering into your sign on the 2nd of May, so just after this new moon eclipse, it's entering that first house of yours. You may be energized and really feeling the attraction and the charming qualities that you have to be able to lead, to be able to get things done. People see you as someone who can really take charge. And this can also bring you more financial gain. It can bring you the right resources and people in order to accomplish the things that you're ultimately wanting to accomplish. So even though there's a Mercury retrograde happening on May 10th, use this month of May to be able to show people what you do really well. Like if for some reason you can be a little sharp-tongued, or you can have your strong opinions and it can be a little abrasive for some, use it as a tool instead of a weapon. This is an opportunity for you to step back and just take a moment and say, you know what, one thing I'm really good at is when there's a time of crisis, when there's something, when the shit hits the fan, I can come in and really show up. Use it that way to be able to direct and command situations that can be of greater benefit for others. Now, with this Mercury retrograding in Gemini, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, and Jupiter entering your sign. Jupiter likes being in fire signs, by the way, again, affecting your first and third house. This can give you an opportunity to communicate, to use your words, to be able to also find the things that maybe you were learning about. Maybe there's a test that you need to take. It's okay to do it during a Mercury retrograde. If it's something from the past that you're trying to wrap up, it's a great time for you to wrap up projects, as well as maybe revisit some of the things that energize you, some of the things that maybe you put aside because you were helping others, or you were in the process of rescuing somebody, or coming in and being that knight in shining armor, or that beautiful leader that you are. And now you can take time for you during this Mercury retrograde. It also can create confusion during that time. So do watch the communication. Maybe some people are talking about you behind your back during this Mercury retrograde. It can come to light. So again, turn that weapon into a tool. If you find out something negative that you're not appreciating, you're not enjoying, see if you can use it as a tool for transformation. Listen to understand, ask a lot of questions, be careful about making assumptions. With Jupiter in your sign here, you are going to expand who you are, your larger than life presence. You may also consider doing some form of changes physically to yourself, but I would wait till after Mercury goes direct at the end of the month into June before you take on that activity. What you can do during the Mercury retrograde is schedule those appointments or do follow-ups. Those are good things that you can do. We do have a Scorpio full moon, so another eclipse that is happening, and this is a lunar eclipse, and this is going to be in your 8th house on May 16th. So many of you Aries, especially if you're looking at things like joint resources or income or inheritance, things that have to do with your possessions and the things you value, you may find yourself ending one job and starting a new one, or you may end up letting go of a particular financial burden and gaining some income or some resource that allows you to be able to get some things done. This is also a beautiful full moon for healing and to be able to let go. If you feel as though the universe didn't have your back, that now you can say, you know what, I'm going to reset things and I'm going to allow the universe to provide for me the resources and the people and the intimacy that I need. This is a healing full moon as well, that if there's been betrayal of your past, if maybe there was a third party situation for you, that you can come back to it, you can revisit it, and you can say, you know what, I choose to forgive. It doesn't mean forget, it doesn't mean approve bad behavior, but I am going to choose to forgive so that I can set myself free, because that's what forgiveness is about. Some of you, Aries, will receive some form of inheritance or investment income of some sort, commission, bonus, that sort of thing. And that can allow you to further advance the plans and the things that you have been working so hard towards on a long-term basis. The sun will enter Gemini, energizing your third house on May 21st, giving you an opportunity to have a lot of good communication, to be able to learn and to organize your thoughts, as well as probably find you very social and maybe a little scattered. You may feel as though you want to learn about everything. And it's like, okay, pick a path here, Aries, but it's a good time for you to just, dabble a little bit in all the things that might interest you. You could find yourself extremely busy during this time as well. Maybe putting out a few fires, having conversations about where do you want to go next? What kind of things do you want to plan? There's also an indication here that your community, your local community, your neighbors are going to ask you to get involved. Maybe you're working on some community projects to beautify your neighborhood, things like that. That can energize you, have some fun, make some plans for Memorial Day weekend. Mercury retrogrades back into Taurus shortly after this. So your second house is going to become more of an emphasis. So it may be that your neighbors, like I say, as an example, you're beautifying your neighborhood, and you may find that there's some hidden resources that come back to you that you can help out. And you may find yourself in a leadership position, let's say in an HOA or something along those lines. It also has a good indication that somebody from your past that has to do with your sense of worth or your values may come back to trigger you. And in particular, if this is a romantic relationship, this is where you get to revisit and say, are we in alignment with who we are now and the things we value most? And are we committed to those values? And if so, maybe we can rekindle this relationship and start fresh. If not, it's time to let it go, because as an Aries, you've done so much work on yourself and you want to be in alignment with the right person. If you're in a bonded relationship, it gives you a chance to come back and revisit some of those values that the two of you as a couple have committed to. And you may find that your partner has a new source of income, or you do, that can help bolster your coffers. It can help give you that added bonus, if you will, towards building more of a foundation and more resources for you to have greater success in your lives. Now, Mars enters your sign. So Mars is your ruler, and that's on May 24th, further energizing that first house. So that could really drive you to show up in the world and to put yourself first and to say, I want you to look at me. I'm just going to express myself how I need to. It can also have you fighting for your own positions. Maybe there is something that is really you're really passionate about, you really believe in, and you really want and desire. And with Mars here, that can put you sort of impulsively forward. And it may be where you go, I'm going to say whatever I need to say to whomever, romantic, professional, whatever it might be, and I don't really give a flying fuck. Who cares? I'm just going to go for it. And now that also, remember, Mars is the god of war. And I know you understand this of anything else. And so it could have people a little put off by you just doing what you do, where you go where angels dare to tread, or you may find yourself in a warring kind of situation where you have to defend yourself or defend somebody who needs a voice. And so if that's the case, then remember all of your tools, all of the things that you can do really well, and use that as a gift or a benefit for others. Because what you'll find is that in the middle of all that warring or the crisis or the way in which you are leading, that you can find in this conflict great transformation, and that people at least can trust and they know, hey, if I need help, I'm going to go to this Aries, even if I don't always agree with them or I don't always like the method in which they deliver the information. And now Venus will enter Taurus in your second house at the end of the month on May 28th, further energizing that second house of values and income, possessions, and self-worth. And what with Venus being the ruler of Taurus, you can find again that those that mind don't matter and those that matter don't mind. And that's going to further energize you, because I can see, Aries, that right now in your life, many of you are at that stage where it's like, I only want to surround myself with the people who bring out the best in me, who celebrate me, who are in alignment with the way that the things that I value and can see my worth. And if they don't, then I'm just going to let it go. And the Gemini new moon at the end of the month, further activating that third house, could have you communicating that with others. And it could say, I'm setting this intention that I'm going to just be free. I need to be independent. I need to be free from the burdens of expectations that others have thrust upon me, that maybe I've owned too much. Maybe I have let others define my self-worth or who I am, and I'm not going to do that anymore. And what that does is it lets you do what you do really well. And I would say that, Aries, the month of May has a good theme here of you being who you are. Remember, Jupiter, your planet of luck, expansion, good fortune, is blessing you in this next month of May and even into June. And we'll talk more about that as it gets moving into the sign of Aries before it dips back into Pisces. But right now, with Jupiter in your sign, allow yourself to be big, to be bold. Just watch out for any overindulgence, because that can expand things like egos or waistlines even. And just know, though, Aries, I feel as though this is your time to shine. And if you're single and you want to attract somebody, the entire month of May has many blessings for you to be able to put yourself out there, socialize, communicate, but most importantly, show up authentically. And you'll find that others will just line up. And your committed relationships, your bonded relationships, Aries, this is a beautiful time for you to feel as though you've got some good footing underneath, that there's a solid connection, and that the communication that you and your beloved have with each other can really energize you. And it can give you a greater sense of security in the bond that you have. So have those conversations, and also have some fun. This should be a fun month for you, even in the middle of a Mercury retrograde. All right, Aries, I really hope this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and come find me at jamiedawn.com. I look forward to connecting with you. I hope you have such a great month.